Okie doke. In this video lesson, we're going to do some review from graphing inequalities. All right. In previous courses, you looked at the 5 different inequality symbols. You had the less than, the greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and the not equal to. Notice I don't have the equal to sign because that's not an inequality, it's an equality. So if we just review on some of the techniques we learned on graphing. So if we had a problem like x is less than 3, back in the day, you had a 3, an open circle, and you shaded to the left where all the numbers that were smaller than 3 were located. For greater than, again, got your 3 on the number line, open circle, shade to all the values that are greater than 3. Less than or equal to 3. 3 on the number line, we used to draw a closed circle and shade everything that's less than 3. Again, the closed circle meant that we included the 3, while the open circle meant we started at the 3 but did not include it. Greater than or equal to, again, as the 3, we put a closed circle, shade to the right, where all the numbers greater than 3 are. And the last, x is not equal to 3. Again, 3, here was an open circle, and we shaded in both directions, so everything other than 3 was shaded. Now we transition to a different way of graphing inequalities. So again, if I go back to x is less than 3, still going to put the 3. But instead of an open circle and shading toward these numbers, I can put a single symbol. That single symbol is a closed parentheses. The parentheses takes the place of an open circle. And I can draw the parentheses in 2 separate directions, meaning either an open parentheses or a closed parentheses. So this parentheses here is showing that we're including everything to the left. So there's no need to shade. So if I continue, x is greater than 3, again a 3, because we have an open circle and we're including everything to the right of it, we now use an open parentheses. Again, the open circle, instead of the open circle, we're using these parentheses. And because the parentheses can be drawn in a particular direction, that takes the place of the shading. So now, x is less than or equal to 3. Again, we have the 3. But now, instead of a parentheses, we're actually going to use a bracket. The bracket is a substitute for the closed circle. And just like the parentheses, they can be drawn in a particular direction. The direction we draw the bracket is the same direction we would have shaded. So, x is greater than or equal to 3. Again, because if it's a closed circle, we're going to use the bracket. Because we're shading toward the right, all the numbers greater than 3, we're drawing our bracket in that direction. And in the last situation, x is not equal to 3. Again, there's our 3. And because we do not include the 3, we're going to be using parentheses like before. But because we would normally shade in both directions, we'll have 2 separate parentheses, one going in each direction. So again, we're transitioning from having alternative ways of graphing. Instead of open and closed circles and shading in one particular direction, we have the different parentheses and brackets. So let's look at a couple situations. So if we had x is less than 5 and x is greater than 5. In the old way of doing it, we had open circles, shading to the left here because all the numbers are less than 5 or to the left. Here, open circle, shade to the right. Now if we use the alternative method, here we'd have a single parentheses in the same direction the shading would be. And over here, single parentheses, shading in the same direction. Now, as a mnemonic device, an open circle is what you used to do, and I'm saying the alternative is the parentheses. And if you notice, a circle is actually made up of 2 parentheses. So it's a mnemonic device where you used to put circles, open circles, you now can use the parentheses. Let's look at 2 other examples. X is less than or equal to 5, x is greater than or equal to 5. The old way, or the previous way we would graph it, was with closed circle, in this case shade to the left, Here another closed circle, shade to the right. The alternative way with the inequalities is, again, in this case, we're going to be using a bracket going to the left, a bracket going to the right. Now, the reason why you used to put a closed circle was because of the equal to symbols we had here. So, if I actually drew an equal sign as a mnemonic device, instead of the closed circle, we're using a bracket here, but this equal sign is actually the beginnings of a bracket. So it's a mnemonic device. Similarly, on the right side, equal sign could be converted to a bracket. So again, some mnemonic devices that transition from what you used to do with open and closed circles to now just simply using parentheses and brackets. So I'll just do a couple quick examples. Oh, one other thing to consider. Here's another mnemonic device to determine the direction you draw your inequalities or your symbols. Here, I have just a few words inside of parentheses. So if I notice, the open parentheses has all the words going toward the right. So just like up here, the parentheses was drawn, the open parentheses was showing that we would have included words that would have been to the right of it. Conversely, the closed parentheses here has the words on the left side, just like over here. All of our shaded values was to the left, so the type of parentheses we drew was the same one that would have had words on the left side. So this slide here is to help give you the various mnemonic devices to keep things focused. Again, open circle made up of parentheses. Closed circle was the equal to sign. The equal to creates the bracket. All right, so now we look at a couple examples. A is greater than or equal to 9. There's our 9. Because 10 is a number bigger than 9, 10 would be located here. That's why we would have put a bracket going to the right. Negative 4 is less than n. There's our negative 4. Well, negative 4 is actually less than positive 4 because positive 4 will be located to the right of it. The symbol we draw, again, will be parentheses, and we'll make it go toward the positive 4. Next, 0 is less than or equal to g. There's our 0. And here, because of the equal sign, we will be using a bracket. Well, 0 is smaller than 1. 1 is located over here, so the bracket will go toward the 1. Z is not equal to 8. There's our 8. And here, it's just one of those things you just have to be aware that not equal to is just the two parentheses going in opposite directions. Next, S is greater than negative 1. There's our negative 1. Well, I know positive 1 is bigger than negative 1 because positive 1 is located to the right. That's why my symbol will go toward the right. And because there's no equal, we're using the parentheses. Next, J is less than 6. There's our 6. Well, I know 5 is less than 6. 5 is located to the left of it, so my symbol will go toward the 5. And again, the symbol is the parentheses because there's no equal sign here. A couple more. There's the 11. 11 is greater than or equal to B. Well, I know 11 is bigger than 10. And 10 is happened to be located to the left of it, so the symbol will go toward that 10 to the left. D is less than or equal to 2. There's my 2. Well, I know 1 is less than 2. 1 is located to the left of it, so my bracket will be drawn toward the 1. 9 is greater than V. There's my 9. Well, I know 9 is bigger than 8. 8 is located to the left of 9. That's why my symbol, parentheses, will go toward the 8. And the last one, negative 2 is not equal to F. Again, not equal to is simply the two parentheses going in opposite directions.